Mehbooba Mufti, in one of her first comments when she came out from this meeting said it happened in a constructive atmosphere, it happened cordially, she sounded positive as well. We all know that the real challenge starts now, Firdaus.
This was the first outreach by the central government towards the people of Jammu and Kashmir. The political parties, the representatives which attended today this all-party meet, they were not there in their personal capacity, but they were representing the people of Jammu and Kashmir. They were representing the aspirations of Jammu and Kashmir. I think this is a beginning, but it should be carried forward.
The commitment to the constitutional ethos led by Shri Narendra Modi, which gives out a strong message here that maybe we have differences, but we are all equal stakeholders, and the process of dialogue will continue. Even with our differences, elections are to be held, and there were talks about delimitation. So what does it show? It shows that this government, under the leadership of Narendra Modi ji, wants development in the state. It is concerned about the youth of the state.
I feel if this initiative should have taken in 2019, then probably we wouldn't have seen the elected representatives going behind bars, a curfew-like situation, or emergency-like situation in entire Kashmir. And even the Jammu Kashmir assembly was bypassed. We have seen that for 11 months there was no internet in Jammu and Kashmir.
As usual, the meeting was expected. The demands raised by these political parties was at par with what central government was also saying. So at least, except for restoration of 370, everything is on table. Now, considering this was a political, all political party meeting, so they were our representatives. So I think next step should be to, talk more with, more people.
Okay.
Because I don't think even Prime Minister has visited J&K post 2019. So I think that should be the next step.
Jammu and Kashmir is a pluralistic society, and it has to stay as that. Now, today's meeting was a very welcome step, and lots of ice has been broken. And let me tell you, when you talk about 370 or 35A, we are neither anti-national, nor are we communal.
Okay.
In any case, and neither are we a Gupkar gang.
You've come to Delhi, spoken to the Prime Minister over 3.5 hours. What changed? What did you really talk about? What was this meeting about?
We talked about everything. We talked about the disconnect between the people of Jammu and Kashmir and the rest of the country. We talked about the concerted attempts being made to add to this mistrust rather than to bridge it. We talked about our unwillingness to accept the unilateral changes that were forced on Jammu and Kashmir on the 5th of August 2019. We reiterated our commitment to use peaceful, constitutional, legal means to have this change overturned. And we came to listen to the Prime Minister. We wanted to hear what the Prime Minister had to say vis-a-vis his outlook for what the next steps in Jammu and Kashmir are going to be.
What has really changed on the ground? Has the trust deficit been bridged? The Delhi ki duri?
No, it hasn't, but there is a first step has to be made somewhere, and the Prime Minister made the first step. Nothing when you say what has changed in our stand, nothing has changed in our stand. Nor was changing our stand a precondition to this talk, because if it had been, these talks wouldn't have taken place. We weren't asked to drop our demand for rolling back what happened on the 5th of August 2019. We weren't asked to withdraw our case from the Supreme Court. We weren't asked to stop our opposition to what had been done to the state of Jammu and Kashmir in 2019. So, as far as we are concerned, nothing in our stand changed whatsoever.
At this stage, where is the evidence, ma'am, that opposition actually is coming forward to say all of this appears to be a bogey before elections just to polarize the electorate?
Now, the agencies that are working as central agencies to probe the conversion racket in different states, whether it is what the ADG Prashant Kumar, the law and order of UP police said, I think one thing is very clear. There is a conversion terror link, which is an unfortunate fact. And I don't want to make this about a community, because it's not. It's about found to be associated with an educational society operational in a locality on the outskirts of Lucknow since February 2014, and Gautam is the vice president of the society, then I think that there are lots of questions which are answered there itself.
The Samajwadi Party would like to take this probe to the logical conclusion. Of course, the money trail has to be investigated. It also has to be investigated that with the FCRA, with the various agencies who are granting exemptions, does the money flow in with whose aid? I think they must be already submitting their returns. So unless we really take that into account, the ATS has found a racket. It is investigating. Prashant is a serious, I would say, officer. He's already said that let us investigate and we'll come out in the open. And at the moment, that's where the Samajwadi Party stands.
This racket which has been exposed certainly has its vulnerable flanks. You know, the kind of funding. Now, ATS has clearly said that it has evidence, it has marked, and it has marked statements, witnesses and evidence of foreign funding, in which it has linked NGOs in Qatar, it has linked some foreign institutions, and it has also linked allegedly Zakir Naik, who's a criminal we are trying to extradite even from Malaysia.
My only point, Gaurav, is, you know, the ATS, I congratulate them. But they themselves have, you know, lost the credibility because of the state government. The Yogi government, if they are crying wolf each time, then people don't take them seriously. And this is a bad luck for our nation, that in this pandemic times, we do not take our chief minister or the state agencies seriously. We should take them. But they themselves have lost credibility because of their communal, you know...
No, but who decides that? They've lost credibility in your eyes, in whose eyes? It's the electorate that will decide that.